Right. I guess since no one's really watching the Pro Bowl games, because let's be honest, they are not what they once were, and the players don't really want to get injured after a long regular season and preseason, so that's fair enough. But yeah, it just kind of feels all half pie, really, to say the least. When you're doing, they're all playing flag football and just doing all these things, and yeah, I guess the fact that it's streaming on Disney XC kind of sums up how seriously the NFL and everyone's taking these Pro Bowl games. So yeah, look, it's probably time I chuck in my um, predictions for and talk about the Super Bowl, which will be in a week's time. Yeah, look, I guess I don't. Yeah, so obviously it's kind of the Super Bowl that no one really wants, according to most fans. Although yeah, a lot of people even said um, after that it's going to be a pretty terrible game. Yeah, I'm not. I guess it's kind of a bit hard to. It's a little bit hard to see why. Look, I think the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers are clearly the two best teams in the NFL this season. And yeah, and look, they've maybe that's why people aren't too keen on it. It was interesting as Jago Game 9 was saying that Patriots Seahawks was the one Super Bowl that everyone didn't want. Although as a Patriots fan, I didn't realize that. And that game turned out to be an absolute banger. So, look, I think, yeah, and I guess maybe it's the fact that the Chiefs and 49ers did play each other in the Super Bowl about, when was that? That's now, 4 years ago. Of course, that was the first Super Bowl. That was the last real big sporting event before the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Of course, that was being for the 29 NFL regular season. And yeah, but having said that, that game was actually pretty decent. It was a solid game. San Francisco 49ers were up 10 points. And yeah, but of course, Patrick Mahomes doing what Patrick Mahomes does, led the Kansas City Chiefs to victory. And Jimmy G's loss, that was probably Jimmy G's best chance of winning a Super Bowl ring. Um, Obviously, the San Francisco 49ers, which actually leads me nicely now. I guess San Francisco 49ers now got a couple of players have moved on, or they've signed a few players. I think a few constants there. Obviously, the coach Shanahan, who was be desperate to finally, he needs to get that Super Bowl ring to really cement his status as one of the elite coaches in the NFL. They've got a really, obviously it's been talked many times how talented this side is. Certainly in the attack, you've got someone like Christian McCaffrey, who is also this is probably his this is likely to be his one and only chance to win a Super Bowl ring. Of course, he spent many years at the Carolina Panthers, never came really close. You've got Debo Samuel, Elijah Mitchell, Brandon Ayuk, um, George Kittle. Yeah, so really, and I guess look, there's been a lot of talk about Brock Purdy's really playing to that system, but yeah, I think that's kind of underselling Brock Purdy's ability. That he's just merely a system quarterback. Like he certainly is, but I mean that he does have his own attributes. Like he's able to read the defenses really well, and yeah, and he also is very good on his feet. And you kind of need that. You can't just solely rely on your weapons. And I think one thing that could, look, I know the Niners haven't been really that impressive in the playoffs so far. They've had to work really hard to beat the Packers and the Detroit Lions, but on the other hand, their second half performance always seems to be really good, and that is something that needs, so again, if you look at the Chiefs, they seem to be in the playoffs. They seem to get most of their points in the first half. You saw the Ravens game; they didn't. They were kept scoreless in the second half, and yeah, and I guess yeah, and even the Bills. I think yeah, it was really their defense that sort of kept them in it, and Bills missing a lot of chances. So yeah, if that's so if I was a Niners fan, I'd be feeling good. But then again, it is the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not a dynasty for no, they're a dynasty for a very good reason. Um, it's been talked about Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and look, I guess I should address one thing about the Taylor Swift thing. Look, I have nothing. It's not that I don't like her, and I think she's a great musician. I don't have any opinions on her, but I think it's just more the media coverage. Look, I know she certainly brings a lot of money to the NFL. I think they were talking about 330 more viewers ever since Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift started dating. And yeah, look, I think the NFL is trying to attract a new type of spectator, not just the traditional fans, but also more casual fans, particularly the Swifties, which is a very very big market. And so that's good on them. I mean, you talk David Beckham and when David Beckham started dating Victoria Adams, Posh Spice, that certainly brought a lot more people to football, and that kind of started things. I guess that kind of was maybe Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce is the David Beckham, Victoria Adams of the NFL. But I guess the point I think is maybe just NFL fans just really want to watch the football rather than count the number of moments Taylor Swift makes an appearance on TV. And I mean, you'd think, Eminem made his appearance at Ford Field for the Detroit Lions, and he's a huge Detroit Lions fan. There's so many other celebrities who are fans of their teams. You're thinking, Rob McElhenney at the Eagles. There's so many LA Rams. You're talking about that a few years ago, but they haven't certainly never gotten as much focus as Taylor Swift has. So, more the media coverage. But anyway, look, back to the Chiefs. So Swifty or not, it's not because of Taylor Swift that I want the Chiefs to lose. It's just because, as a Patriots fan, I really just don't want to see that dynasty being, taken apart in such a quick period of time. Look, there's still a long way. Obviously, Mahomes is on 2, Brady's on 5 with the Pats and 6 overall. But certainly don't really. 6. Sorry, no, 6. No, sorry, Brady's on 6 with a Pats 7 overall. Apologies. But he's still got Pat Mahomes has still got a long way to go, I guess. But I guess health wise, he has a very good show of doing that. It's a bit like when Lewis Hamilton matched Michael Schumacher's record. Speaking of which, diversing, I wonder. Imagine if Lewis Hamilton won his record-breaking 8th driver's title with in a Ferrari, which Michael Schumacher did most of his achievements with. So anyway, so what am I tipping?